Now on the CTV News at 5. Across the country, Canadians remember. Plus, Southern Albertans pause to honor those who have fought for our country. And research on better protecting service members and veterans' physical and mental health.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. In Lethbridge and across the country, people stop to recognize the sacrifices of those who served for our country. Quinn Keenan gives us a look at the services held in the city.
The Cenotaph and Lethbridge Trade and Convention Centre served as the main gathering places for local Remembrance Day services. There, attendees took a moment to remember and honor those who served.
Doing the ceremonies always helps because I know that there's those that no longer can be here, and so this is our way of saying thank you, our way of showing our support and respect.
At both events, attendees heard stories about the sacrifices and hardships during war. Veterans in attendance know all too well about those hardships. Some were also grieving the loss of loved ones, such as Linda Learn, whose son, Private Mark Anthony Graham, was killed in Afghanistan.
It's very meaningful to recognize that the community also recognizes that there has been a sacrifice, not just of Mark, but all of the other fallen from Afghanistan, as well as all of the men and women that we've lost.
Strong attendance across the city shows that local residents still want to honor fallen soldiers and veterans. With plenty of young people taking part, it shows that tradition isn't going anywhere.
It's very encouraging, especially with the younger people, the young children, the school-age children. Nice to see them here, actually an honor to see them here, because I do it for family reasons. I had uncles and grandparents who fought, grandfathers who fought in the world wars.
Organizers and participants believe everyone should take the time today to pay tribute to those who sacrificed their lives and bodies for Canada's freedom.
It is really important to take time out of our busy schedules and come and remember those that have sacrificed for the great country we live in today.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Now, those at the ceremony at the Cenotaph were treated to 2 separate flybys. The Royal Canadian Air Force's 429 Transport Squadron had a fly past of its Globemaster. Shortly behind the large aircraft, Jeffrey Bryan flew behind and flew overhead several times in his 1952 Harvard MK aircraft. In 1944, the city of Lethbridge adopted the squadron, with the community sending care packages to the troops.
20th Independent, of course, are the current local unit in town, so we also have members of the South Alberta Light Horse here, and the Calgary Highlanders have a small contingent here as well. So there's representation from all the local units on parade, and we always stay in touch with 429 as this is their place of origin, and great to see them on Remembrance Day.
Last year marked the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. The 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we remember them as thousands attend the poignant National Remembrance Day ceremony in Ottawa. CTV's Abigail Beeman has that story.
They came to Ottawa from coast to coast.
We have so many Newfoundlanders and who've passed through the wars.
I feel we owe a debt of gratitude to those servicemen and women who, from the past, the present, and the future.
There's a heaviness, knowing each year fewer and fewer are at the national ceremony like Elmer Friesen. Here from Calgary at 103. Second World War veterans now number fewer than 4,000.
I'm so glad that my son thought I should come here to experience this alive. So moving.
If we don't remember, well, the world's enough of a mess. You can see what happens when we don't.
Time marches on. Now we have to remember our newer veterans, ones returning from Afghanistan, Bosnia, and the newer conflicts, and what we're facing today.
My transition's been pretty good. I have
good days, bad days. To be here today is something that I've always wanted to do.
A service imbued with meaning. The Silver Cross mother, Nancy Payne, remembers son Randy, killed in Afghanistan. Weather so miserable, the traditional fly past replaced by a single helicopter. But still, they stood.
Do you want to stand up? Yes, I do.
Elmer Friesen determined to lay a poppy on the tomb of the unknown soldier for his late brother.
They sacrificed so many guys and never came home. And here I am sitting here and people are admiring me for, and it was a privilege for me to be in the service.
It has become a tradition to lay a poppy here after the ceremony, a small but impactful gesture, leaving a striking red tribute to all those who served and those who gave their lives for Canada. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, according to the Canadian Virtual War Memorial, more than 118,000 soldiers have given their lives in service. A pet store on the city's north side has launched a new partnership to help support veterans and their pets. Pet Value North Lethbridge has partnered with the Veterans Association Food Bank for their Pet Promise program. Throughout the month of November, customers can donate products and supplies that will then be delivered to veterans in the community through the food bank. A donation stand will be set up inside Pet Value throughout the month. Danielle Savoni joins us now. And Danielle, not nearly as windy today for all of those outdoor Remembrance Day ceremonies.
Yep, it's still a little gusty, but nowhere near the 122 kilometer per hour gusts in Pincher Creek, for example. We're a maximum gust there, 57. Mid-60s for Lethbridge and 33 for Medicine Hat. So still on that windy side for sure, but certainly an improvement compared to yesterday. Mostly cloudy, 13. So we're also still, because we have those winds predominantly out of the west, still holding on to those warm temperatures. 13 degrees right now in Lethbridge, still double digits. Medicine Hat, Milk River, Pincher Creek, a little cooler in Brooks at 8 degrees. We are looking at warm temperatures continuing for the next few days, but we have a big cool down on the way for the weekend. I'll show you that coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. There are emerging signs this flu season may see faster spread and more serious illness. A woman in her 60s from central Alberta has already died from influenza this season. 8 people have required intensive care treatment. Health officials say the data shows a nasty virus circulating in the UK and Australia, which is a warning of what's to come for North America. They also point out the dominant strain of influenza is potentially mismatched with this year's vaccine formula. Infectious disease experts say it is still important to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
So if you want to protect yourself, this is still a very safe, very effective way to do it. Might not be quite as safe as if the match was perfect, but considerably better than getting the influenza virus itself.
The flu shot is available at pharmacies for those aged 5 and older at no cost. Now, Lethbridge police say the mailing of photo radar tickets will resume this week. Over the past month, contracted members of the Corps of Commissionaires have been hand delivering tickets to the homes of registered owners as a result of the recent postal strike. With the Canada Post strike moving to a rotating status, the service will begin mailing out tickets starting tomorrow. Instructions on how to pay the fine can be found on the ticket itself. The City of Lethbridge is encouraging residents to go paperless with property tax e-billing. Residents can do so by going onto the city's website. The city says by using e-billing, property owners will receive notifications to their email, accesses records and any time, and stay organized. The city says so far more than 5,000 property owners have made the switch. All right, Danielle says temperatures will stay nice for a couple of more days. Then Friday, we are in for a bit of a blast. More weather when we come back. Plus, we look at the research being done to help those who've served in our military.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera facing south. We have a nice little Chinook arch building into many communities, especially all along Highway 2. I'll show you that on the radar in just a second. Windy today, a little less windy though than yesterday, but enough to keep those temperatures in the double digits and above normal. Calgary got up to 12 degrees so far today, 10 in Edmonton, 10 in Saskatoon, so a lot of warmth here. Vancouver at 12, Victoria 11, and much cooler in parts of, Ontario and Quebec. Atlantic Canada looking a little warmer, as you can see. Fredericton, Halifax got to 16 today. All right, temperatures closer to home here. 11 degrees in Lethbridge, Milk River, 10 in Medicine Hat at the moment, and 10 in Calgary, and 7 in Brooks, 8 in Pincher Creek. We did have fairly windy conditions, but again, such an improvement from yesterday. We're closer to 90 here. 122 is the max here. We should downgrade to about 40 kilometer per hour gusts for tomorrow in communities in the far south. So still windy, but less windy than today. It's basically this gradual improvement with the wind, but because it will be less windy, temperatures won't get quite as warm tomorrow. So this is that Chinook type pattern, that flow out of the west. You can see that Chinook arch that is built in all along basically parts of QE2, Highway 2 and down. So you've seen that out there. And if you get the headaches or that bit of haze, yep, this would be it. We are looking at this setup really for the next couple of days. That flow out of the west, fairly gusty, but outside of that, nothing really to talk about. Just gusts around 40 kilometers per hour for the next couple of days. I'll freeze this though by the time we get into late Thursday. Small chance of seeing this moisture spill over, a greater chance of this spilling over Friday night into the weekend. And I'll show you that in the longer range forecast and what that will do, because we'll get cut off from the Chinook pattern, which means we'll be cut off from the warmth and we'll have some moisture that will spill over on the weekend. 0 overnight in the East Kootenay area, getting to a high of 7 for tomorrow. It will be a little breezy and you're looking at mainly cloudy skies. Crow's Nest Pass -1. Tonight, we're still looking at gusts 40 kilometers per hour. That will continue tomorrow as well, but that's what will get us into the double digits tomorrow with a high of 10. There will be some cloudy periods. There will be that arch that's starting to build into many areas tomorrow. And just in general, in Medicine Hat, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. -3 overnight with the wind chill tomorrow morning in the Medicine Hat area. Will feel closer to about -6, but then getting up to the double digits for the afternoon hours. So overall, a nice day, just a little on the breezy side, especially in the afternoon. In Lethbridge, gusts around 30, maybe 40 kilometers per hour. That should get us to 13 degrees. We still have a lot of warmth expected for Thursday. It will be a little gustier on Thursday. We might push up to 50, even 60 kilometer per hour gusts, but that again will get us to those higher teens. Then we lose that flow out of the west. That's going to drop us down to 8 on Friday, and by Friday night and through Saturday, we're looking at wet snow mixing with some rain and even potentially freezing rain, and just a high of 5 by Saturday.
Military service can take a physical and mental health toll. Researchers are working to understand the impacts on the brain, and a high-profile Canadian is enlisting others to help. Natalie Johnson explains.
It's about 5K.
Down on the boardwalk by his East End home, Aaron O'Toole still maintains a quick pace in life after politics.
When I run, I generally go to the volleyball courts.
The former federal Conservative leader harnesses physical activity to support brain health, grateful that he never suffered a brain injury during his years of service in the military.
Our veterans serve, and many of them come back with injuries, both physical, mental. Some aren't visible. And traumatic brain injury is something that we're really starting to understand.
Now, in this time of remembrance, O'Toole is pledging to donate his brain when he dies to Project Enlist. Research conducted by the Concussion Legacy Foundation to better understand the impact of military service on the brain.
You first think of the roadside bomb and, the light armored vehicle and the concussion, but it doesn't have to be that dramatic.
It's this revelation that it's not just concussions. It's the cumulative non-concussive impacts over time that people sustain during the course of their service that can end up leading to mental health issues, neurodegenerative disease, CTE.
Even though O'Toole didn't suffer head trauma during his time in the military, his brain can serve as a baseline or control for the testing. So far, more than 500 veterans have pledged to donate their brains for research.
I think we need to make sure we have the best protection, headgear and other things for our men and women in uniform. And we have to find treatment methods to reduce injury and treat it early so that there can be a quality of life.
Quality of life that is so critical year-round, well after Canadians take off their poppies when the Remembrance Day ceremony ends.
I hope this donation will take place a long time in the future, but I want to be part of something that is so positive.
Arming the Canadian military with research that will help to better educate and equip, another step forwards in supporting those who serve. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. Grey Cup week is kicking off in Winnipeg. Sports is next. It's been a tough start to the year for the Lethbridge Hurricanes, but one player has earned some hardware. Rookie goalie Leif Outen won a gold medal backstopping Team Canada Red at the 2025 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. Outen made 38 saves in the gold medal game against Team Canada White at the tournament in Nova Scotia. Outen was also named a tournament all-star for his stellar play. Throughout the tournament, he posted a .905 save percentage and a .295 goals against. Former NHLer and Calgarian Bob Wilkie is raising awareness around mental health with a documentary that explores a Canadian sports tragedy.
The team turned into a tragedy this afternoon when the team bus slid off an icy road near Swift Current, Saskatchewan. 4 of the young hockey players were killed.
Sideways explores the Swift Current Broncos' horrific bus crash in 1986. 2 years later, the team went on to win the Memorial Cup under disgraced coach Graham James. The documentary explores trauma, healing, and resilience through stories from several former members of the team, including coaching staff, family, and friends. And that includes Wilkie, who lived through the crash. He now works with young athletes as a founder of the not-profit I Got Mine to help others deal with issues caused by trauma.
It's some of the worst things imaginable, especially for a group of young hockey players, that it's just not a typical kind of thing that happens. So, yeah, it gets people's attention when they really see the full scale. And I think it shows, again, the importance of being able to talk it out, because had we been able to talk about those things at that time, how much better could we have been then?
A private screening of Sideways took place last night with some Calgary Flames alumni. The documentary will be shared with the public starting on November the 24th. Now to a big boost for Canadian blind hockey. CTV's Craig Krause has more from Richmond, BC.
With the drop of the puck, a sound of bells rings out as it hits the ice. That's because this isn't your typical hockey game at Minner Arena in Richmond. It was Game 1 of the Western Regional Blind Hockey Tournament, bringing together dozens of players with varying degrees of visual impairment.
So could be tunnel vision, you've got no peripheral, it's like looking through a donut, or if you have a greater degree of vision loss, it could be even smaller, like looking through a straw. And then we have a lot of players with the opposite, so they have no central vision.
All teaming up and making history this weekend after the Vancouver Canucks became the first NHL team to officially support blind hockey programs as a premier partner in BC.
Hockey truly is for everybody. Such a great sport.
Hey, I'm Craig.
Hi, I'm Corbin.
Great game out there.
Thank you so much.
For Corbin Johnson, it's been a long journey to get here. The dream of lacing up the skates and hitting the ice as a player was just that. A dream.
I'm legally blind, and it's one of those things that I gave up on a long time ago, thinking I couldn't do it.
Until 2.5 years ago, when he found blind hockey, a sport that has changed his life.
It's hard to describe because it's just so much fun. It's something that gives you a lot of confidence, and it gives you energy, and it makes you feel good.
And shortly after joining, he had an idea to partner with the Canucks. Fast forward to today, and not only are they joining forces, but the Lower Mainland Youth Program has been rebranded the Vancouver Junior Canucks Blind Hockey Team.
Did you think it was ever going to happen?
I'm the kind of person that when I have something in my head, nothing else will break it, so I just kept moving forward.
Craig Krause, CTV News, Richmond.
The Professional Women's Hockey League is expanding the number of Takeover Tour host cities for its 2025-26 season. Teams will participate in 16 neutral site regular season games played outside the league's current complement of cities, with 5 of those cities hosting 2 games for the first time. The PWHL will visit 7 new cities, including Calgary, Halifax, Hamilton, and Winnipeg in Canada, and Chicago, Dallas, and Washington, D.C. in the U.S. The tour will also return to Edmonton, Quebec City, Detroit, and Denver. All 8 PWHL teams will participate in at least 3 Takeover Tour games, with 2 of them representing home games on the schedule. Pre-sales for the Takeover Tour, those tickets begin on November the 13th. Grey Cup week has kicked off with the big prize arriving in Winnipeg in spectacular fashion. Two members of the Royal Canadian Air Force rappelled down to the ground carrying the trophy. The Montreal Alouettes will take on the Saskatchewan Roughriders for the Cup this Sunday. still ahead. On the CTV News at 5, the unexpected reunion of military pen pals when we come back. It's a story which seems so unlikely it's hard to believe. Two people talking in a restaurant who had no idea they were pen pals more than 3 decades earlier. CTV's Brent Lale brings us their remarkable journey.
It's an improbable reunion.
We realized that we were pen pals 35 years ago.
Flashback to 1990 when the Royal Canadian Navy participated in the Persian Gulf War.
In New Victoria, Cape Breton, there was an ad in the Post to write to any service member overseas just for your support. So I had done that. You must possess an awful lot of courage, faithfulness, and honesty to your country.
Halfway around the world, Petty Officer Richard Austin was patrolling the sea aboard the HMCS Athabascan.
In my way back to my watch station on the ship, I would just stop by sick bay, and the box was there, and I grab letters and take them back, and then when I got down to where I was going, then I would read who it was from. I think the pink envelope caught my eye.
Austin would then write back.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful letter. I was dealing with a weapon system, and I was all alone for like 12 hours a day, so I had to have something to occupy my mind.
Fast forward 3 decades later. Lisa Johnson has moved from the East Coast to London, Ontario, and works as a server.
I served these two gentlemen, Rick and Mike. We got to chatting, and I said I wrote to a Navy personnel back in 1990. I have the letter here. So when I produced the photo of the letter, Rick said to me, "Lisa, that's my writing." And just goosebumps, like, there's no way.
And when she showed it to me, I recognized my writing and my unique computer graphics that I did to write to a lot of people. Yeah, it was just, oh wow.
The two see each other every weekend when Richard comes in for breakfast.
He served us in the military, so now I get to serve him.
And you need those moments in your life, especially today, to have a bright ray of sunshine shine in. And so it's just like, yeah, there is good in the world.
It's rare for military stories to have a happy ending. This one not only makes you feel warm inside, but it's a tale worthy of a Hollywood script. In London, Brent Lale, CTV News.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.